That's right, everybody. We are live back in action, attacking your speakers from the field to the bleachers. This is the Power 32 podcast with my main man, my co-host, my dog, Mr. Primetime 313 David Dale, who beat my ass in fantasy football this weekend. I mean, this guy hasn't played fantasy football in like 2 decades, and he comes out and whips me. Josh Allen puts up like 100 points. Like, you killed me, man.
God, it was absolutely 394 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh.
I think it was like 47 points or something like that. It was a dream come true for a guy who hasn't played fantasy football in like 7 years. So it was an honor to go up against my mentor right off the bat. I broke a couple of his rules.
Yeah,
and,
you did.
I actually did.
Pretty good.
And
Man,
but you know what? Sometimes Burger King used to have a slogan back in the day that said, "Sometimes you got to break the rules." And Josh Allen and Zay Flowers. You know, I actually had a couple guys in that Sunday night game. So those 2 guys came through for me, put me over the top. But man, yeah, it was a great week that was, as we preview the week that is and will be live here on the Power 32 podcast. Simon, as per normal seems lately. First one to check in with us, but yeah, Prophet, man,
What
it
up,
was hell of a week 1, man.
Hell of a week 1. We got a long way to go. It's only week 1. A lot of crazy things happened. I mean, we can go over it forever, but we don't want to spend too much time on week 1. But there's stuff to go over. I mean, there were some crazy things that we saw out there. I mean, Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott.
Like, what the hell is wrong with that guy, man?
Come on, man. Like, that just shows that young immaturity. Like, maybe he thinks that he's above the game thing. I don't know. I don't know if this guy's a dirty player or not. I'm not going to put that moniker on him. But what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
And to not even be able to play one single down in that game.
No.
You know, you get ejected. It's the first game of the season. You're hyped up. You're amped up. You're all ready to go. You practice your ass off. You sweat your ass off for that opening night, Sunday night. You know, or it wasn't Sunday, was it? No, it was Thursday. Thursday night football. So you bust your ass
first
to get
game
to
of the
that
year.
point,
yeah.
And you don't even get to play it down. I'm curious, Prophet and chat. What's up, Brian? As he checks in. What up, Doe? How you doing?
What up, Brian?
What do you think the conversation was after the game, or even at halftime when they had that one-on-one or group chat or whatever with Jalen Carter? How do you think that conversation went?
Oh, man. Well, look, Nick Sirianni to me is a little bit of a pussy, so I don't really see him getting in Jalen Carter's face and, making a big deal out of this thing, to be honest with you. But, the guys who pay him maybe have something to say. Maybe, obviously Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman had a little something to say and be like, listen, man, we need you on the field because now you're going to be suspended. You got a fine. I mean, again, it's really nothing to him with the amount of money that he makes, but that's a big issue, man. You can't do stuff like that. I mean, he got caught and it looked like Dak Prescott actually spit first, but he didn't spit on him or at him. And Jalen Carter is like, you know what, man, I'm going to just go make my presence known right away. It's banner night and I'm taking it down and I'm out of here, man. Freaking unbelievable.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
So a little immature over there, but some other impressive things. The Chargers, I told you, watch out for them Chargers, man. They beat Kansas City in Sao Paulo Alto over there and down in Brazil. Dude, what the fuck, man? I'm watching Washington Giants. I'm like, put in Jackson Dart already. What are you waiting for? Just do it.
And that's one of the things that bug the hell out of me. I come on here all the time and I rant and rave about, in a negative way, about the Giants offensive line. But, Russell Wilson gets sacked twice, gets hit 8 times. Andrew Thomas, their star left tackle for what that's worth, wasn't playing. So James Hudson III was in there. They averaged like 3.2 yards a carry. They got in the red zone, 2 trips inside the 5-yard line, came away with 3 points. They failed to score a touchdown for the 3rd straight season opener. I mean, we're talking historically bad here. Russell Wilson, 168 yards. Brian Burns, the defense was the only bright spot because initially it looked like Washington was going to put up 40 points. Defense finally got their feet under him, and Brian Burns had just an amazing game. Abdul Carter had a block punt and a half a sack. It's just, I don't know, Prophet, if you're the coach, and it took Brian Dable until Tuesday or Monday. I'm sorry. No, actually yesterday before he decided to come out and say, yeah, Russell Wilson was going to be the starter for this week. So what do you read into that, if anything?
I read his body language, and he didn't even seem confident about it. He was like, I'm really not sure I should be saying this right now, but I think he's stuck with him for one more week, and if he goes out there and throws 37 passes for 160 yards that he threw for the entire game, that is pathetic, man. You can't do that when you got a Malik Neighbors out there and other guys who are actually stepping up. What's his name? Wan'Dale Robinson stepping up, playing good ball.
Yeah,
so you had decent players out there.
Yeah. Malik Neighbors looked like he was ready to punch somebody in the face. He was very frustrated with some of the. I don't know if it was all directed at Russell Wilson or just the offense in general, man. But it was.
Yeah, and Brian in the chat saying Dable is a dead man walking. He might be. He doesn't put Jackson Dart in. Honestly, I mean, you have to look. Russell Wilson is clearly not your future. Put in Jackson Dart. He looked really good. Maybe not this week in Dallas. I understand that. Maybe you want to save him for a home game that's a little bit easier. I can get that because it's going to be tough going into Dallas and it's going to be a rough environment. But look what J.J. McCarthy did last night. Went into Chicago where there are bears all over the freaking place, growling in the freaking stands, and he played like shit. And what did he do? He came back. Why? Because he's a good player. He's got a great team around him and a hell of a head coach, man. And these are things that you have to have in the NFL to win, and the Giants ain't got that shit.
Oh, no, and again, it goes back to the offensive line. I've said before, and you and I have had this conversation, you can have Tom Brady back there, and if you can't block, you can't run block, you can't pass protect, you can't do anything. And this, I'm not even going to go off like I did before, but we're talking 10, 15 years, man, since this offensive line has been worth anything, and it's been the same story. And it bugs the hell out of me as a Giants fan, and I was going back and forth with some guys on TikTok about this. It just, as a Giants fan, you want more, you expect more, but I don't know, putting Jackson Dart in there with that offensive line, I don't know if that's such a good idea right now either. So what comes first? It's the chicken or egg. Do you get the offensive line better and then put him in, or do you put him in and hope that he, with his mobility and his ability to throw the football the way he can, maybe he can overcome a bad offensive line, but I'm not 100% convinced.
Maybe that's the thing. I mean, he did move well in the pocket. Again, it was preseason. He wasn't playing against the number ones, obviously, all the time. So, you got to take that into account, no doubt about it. And, we will see. We will definitely see Jackson Dart at some point this year. It's just a matter of when. But J.J. McCarthy looking good last night. Great game on Sunday night. I don't know. I mean, is it all right to say that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are better than Patrick Mahomes right now? I mean, especially given over the last couple of seasons, they've played better than he has. Again, winning MVPs. Again, not getting to the Super Bowl. But when I look at last year's Super Bowl prime, I don't say that was Patrick Mahomes taking them to the Super Bowl. That was more of a full team effort, especially on defense. I mean, again, they weren't scoring a lot of offensive points. So is it crazy to say that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson may be better than Patrick Mahomes right now?
I don't think so. And I mean, what we saw this past weekend with that Buffalo Ravens game, that is what elite football, maybe not on the defensive side, but the defense made their plays enough to get the other team in position to do some damage here and there. But to me, if you don't say that those two guys are better than Patrick Mahomes right now, what you can say, in my opinion, is that they are clearly the two best teams in the NFL, and it's a shame that they're going to have to play each other in the playoffs and eliminate each other. So we wouldn't be able to get to see them in the Super Bowl. But yes, Prophet, absolutely. I wouldn't be mad at anybody if they told me that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson right now, based on what we've seen the last couple of years and based on what we've seen just this past weekend, if you were to tell me that they were better than Patrick Mahomes, I would not be mad at you in the least.
Right now, both of them are playing better than Patrick Mahomes. And you know who else is? Jalen Hurts. That boy is playing out of his mind. He is so damn good. When the game is on the line, other than Josh Allen and Lamar, he's probably the next on the list that I want with the ball in his hands because he can run it, he can throw it. He does not get enough credit for how accurate he is. That deep ball that he threw to Jahan Dotson, out of all people, was just an incredibly perfectly thrown pass that he had against Dallas that night. And what are you doing? You don't throw in to A.J. Brown. What are you paying that guy $30 million for, to throw the ball to him one time in the fourth quarter? What's the point?
I was watching that game, and the thing that bothered me was that Jalen Hurts had a lot of time in the pocket. If you watch a lot of his dropbacks and rollouts, he had 4, 5, 6 seconds on a lot of occasions. That tells me that their guys couldn't get open. What did A.J. Brown end up with, 3 catches?
No, I think he had 1 catch.
Oh, it was 1, and then Devontae had 3 or something like that.
Yeah, Devontae had 3, yeah.
It's amazing in an offense like that. Jalen Hurts literally carried that team on Thursday night. There's no doubt about it. And talk about that throw to Jahan Dotson goes back to what we saw last year in the Super Bowl when he just was dropping passes in the bucket. It's like, wow, Jalen Hurts actually can throw the football. And I think the biggest knock on him is that he can't. And, like you just alluded to, is he the third best? Does he supplant Patrick Mahomes as, out of that top 3 when you go Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and then Jalen Hurts? Is Patrick Mahomes right now, as we sit right now, Patrick Mahomes that guy? And I know Brian says, 15 is his man, 100 grand. I get it. But yeah, he agrees with us that Lamar and Josh are better. And Simon with his 1.8 fantasy points. I'm assuming that's the receivers for the Eagles. But I'm not mad at that at all, man. I think Patrick is probably 4th or 5th.
Yeah, right now that's the way that he's playing. And again, not to say that he's playing terrible. It's just that these other guys are playing a little bit better, and that's really all there is to it. All right, we'll hit on a few more things from last week, but definitely got to get this trivia question in as we traditionally start with it. And I was going to start with it, but I was so excited to talk about what was going on in week 1. But what happened in week 1 is a question that will go back a few years. So I'll give you a little hint because this is a hard question. J.J. McCarthy last night became the 4th quarterback since the year 2000 to get his first career win and start on Monday Night Football. So his first start and win came on Monday Night Football. Who was the last to do it? And I'll give you the year, 2018. Last quarterback to win his first Monday Night Football start. It was J.J. McCarthy last night, but before that, it was in 2018. Who did it?
2018. Let's see. I'm assuming
you got to think about who was drafted around that time.
Right. It was on a Monday. It was 75 degrees. The wind was blowing about 4.5 miles an hour out of the southwest. Let's see here. I'm trying to.
Meteorology is paying off, man. That degree is paying off good for you.
Brian says Dak.
It's Dak.
I'm trying not to, like I said, I appreciate the help in the chat, but this one here, Dak was one of the first things that popped into my head, but I think Dak's been playing a little bit longer than that. Maybe. So, and then I flashed to Jalen Hurts, but he hasn't been playing that long. You know what? I'm going to go, maybe I'm wrong about Dak. Nah. Shit.
I'm going to give you one more hint.
What the hell?
It was against your Lions.
Really?
Yep. It's a hard one.
And I know I've heard this 100 times. They probably said it 100 times. They probably said it on the Monday Night Football broadcast too. Let's see.
Quarterbacks drafted around that 2017, 2018-ish mark, and one of there's a guy out there who did it.
I'm gonna probably got my timelines mixed up, but I'm gonna go your guy. I'm gonna go Baker.
Oh, Baker is such a good guess, man. Great guess. Sam Darnold is actually the answer.
That would have been like my 3rd or 4th guess.
All right, but
Sam
you
Darnold.
had him in there though.
Who was he playing for at that time?
The Jets.
The Jets. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, he's playing for the Jets.
God, I can't
believe it or not. Yup, I know. Hard to remember that. I did not remember.
I got to go back.
I had to look that one up. I'm like, are you serious, man? Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Man, all right. What? Speaking of, good football quarterback play, what the hell did Daniel Jones, whose body was he in?
Indiana Jones, baby. Indiana Jones.
Bro.
I tried to tell people. Nobody would listen. Oh my God. Daniel Jones went in and mollywopped. They Miami was one of the teams that I had. As
that's
far
funny,
as a straight up pick and an against the spread pick. Daniel Jones, man. I mean, you can't. And let's be honest, the odds of him being able to maybe sustain this throughout the season are probably slim and none. But he's not as bad as everybody thought. And again, it goes to protection. It goes to having better coaching, a better scheme, and it helps when you have a rookie tight end who I had on my fantasy team. 7 catches for 75 yards, 76 yards.
That boy looks good.
Most receptions ever by a tight end rookie in week 1.
Looking good.
I'm not jumping on the Indianapolis Colts bandwagon by any stretch of the imagination, but it was, and Simon kind of alluding to this, I was going to ask this question to the chat and to you. Is Indianapolis that good, or what the is going on in Miami, man?
Yeah, I don't think Indianapolis is that good. I think they're a mediocre type of team, but Miami is that poorly coordinated, and they all just seem to hate each other right now. Tyreek Hill hates everyone on that team. He wants them all off. He wants to go back.
It showed on his face a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, jeez. Yelling his freaking head off. He wants to go back to Kansas City so bad. He is itching to get back there, and he's probably going to get back there. I mean, he really will. So, talk about a dead man walking like Mike McDonald with Brian Jones is talking about right now. Mike, he really might be a dead man walking. This could be it for him. He may be fired sometime during, I don't know, week 5, 6, 7 if they don't get this thing together.
Really? You don't think he makes the season?
I don't think that he makes the season if they keep playing like this, man. And they should play better. They're a good enough team. They have pieces. I don't think they're a Super Bowl type of team, Miami, by any means. But you go back to a couple of years ago, they were putting up 35, 40 points like it was nothing. They had the number 1 seed for a lot of the season.
Yep.
What happened over here all of a sudden? I don't know. Maybe Tua is a little bit more scared now because he's gotten so many concussions and knocked down so much. I don't really know what it is, man.
Yeah, and Simon says, the receiver room for the Colts is really slept on. Is probably one of the more well-rounded rooms in the league. What's up, Steve-O? He jumps in. Yeah, off topic. Yeah, Ryan Clark. I agree with that. The way he was going back and forth with Peter Schrager was an absolute. And this is not the first time Ryan Clark's been in hot water a little bit with ESPN. We'll probably touch on that a little bit later on. But yeah, the Colts, your boy Michael Pittman and Tyler Warren, and I actually have both of those guys. But yeah, Indiana Jones, man, got the job done, and it was. I wonder. I would love to be a fly on the wall when he sat back, when he got home, and he sat back, and he took his shoes off, and he sat down, and his wife made him his dinner, and just like
He never had so much fun playing with his kids in his whole life, man.
Oh, I'll tell you, he went to one of those restaurants like I talked about last week and got one of those big hubcap size tenderloin sandwiches that Indianapolis is known for. But yeah, it was a good week for Daniel Jones. Whether or not they'll be able to sustain it is yet to be seen. But if you're a Daniel Jones, I'm not a Daniel Jones fan because I wasn't the biggest fan of him in New York, but I am happy for the guy that he was able to come out and just to a team that they weren't even favored against for the most part. So good for him.
Yeah, well, the wife gave him some good love, and so if he wants to keep getting that, he better keep winning them balls.
Right.
What Simon got off topic? Did anyone see the press conference of the Titans coach not knowing the rules of catching a football? No, actually, I didn't catch that.
No, elaborate on that a little bit more in the chat, Simon. I did not catch that.
I didn't catch that one. No, I didn't see that. I wish I could see everything. It's almost impossible. Too much damn work nowadays. But, all right, we got a lot of stuff to get to, but we got big deal or no deal right now. Let's hit it, man.
Big deal or no deal. All right, number 1, we saw the Detroit Lions, and you probably knew I was going to start off with this. We saw the Detroit Lions go into Green Bay and get their asses kicked. Green Bay out-physicaled them. They were more creative. On defense, you see a lot of loops and stunts and all this and that. It was pretty much for the Lions, line 8 and up on the left side, and let's go. We talked about the offseason. They lost coordinators. They lost an all-pro center. They had to shuffle some new guys in. They got a second-year guy and a rookie playing guard. They got a guy, Grant Glasgow, who's not necessarily a center by trade. And it showed. So my question to you and question to the chat is this a big deal? Because as we look forward, they have the Bears, Then they have the Ravens. Then you got a breather in there with the Browns, but then you go to Kansas City, you go to Cincinnati, maybe not that order, but you still got Dallas, Philly, Washington,
Yeah.
KC, Baltimore on your schedule. So as it sits right now, Prophet, as we look in week 1, is it a big deal or no deal that the Lions look like complete ass, for lack of a better term, in Green Bay?
No deal, in my opinion. It's week 1, all right? The offense hadn't played together in a very long time. It's been way back since January since they played a game together. Jared Goff on the road is not always as great. I had a good year last year on the road, but again, playing outdoors, wasn't freezing or anything, so I understand that. But when you get rhythm and Bruce back going against Chicago Bears this upcoming weekend at home, I think they're going to find their groove again, go 1-1 and say, all right, you know what, we can do this. We don't necessarily need Ben Johnson here. We don't need Aaron Glenn here, because the defense didn't play that terribly, to be honest with you. It was the offense was not in rhythm. They were very vanilla with what they were doing. So I think that they need to get into practice this week and say, you know what, let's do some of them trick plays that we were doing last year. Let's move the ball around, get the ball into our playmakers' hands, because they really didn't do that enough. To me, they gave the ball to David Montgomery a little bit too much, which is a guy that you want in certain situations, not somebody that you want on 1st and 10. You know what I mean? So you got to get the ball in Jahmyr Gibbs' hands more.
And I agree. Their secondary. My thing is with Terry and Arnold, if they can't cover Romeo Doubs and Jalen Reed, what the hell's going to happen when you're going up against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase?
That's a
problem. You know what I mean? But to your point, real quick, and I'll go on to the next one. Jahmyr Gibbs, 10 catches for 30 yards.
Yeah,
that's like the entire game in a nutshell. So. Yeah. You're right. Their defense, they may be able to overcome, because their defense did settle down a little bit in the second half, although I do think Green Bay decided to let off the gas because they knew the Lions couldn't move the football. Micah Parsons had a bigger impact probably than people thought. He only had 1 sack, but he had some pressures. He played like 29 snaps.
Exactly.
So you guys and Chad agrees that it's not a big deal as of yet. All right. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. This is the first time this season, regular season, we've mentioned him on the show. Throws 4 touchdowns as Pittsburgh has a hell of a win against Justin Fields, who I accidentally picked in the draft because my time ran out. And ended up actually playing a pretty good game. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 136.7 passer rating. Tied Tom Brady all time for the most 4 touchdowns, 0 interception games with 28. Is this a big deal that Aaron Rodgers had this great of a game is it just against the Jets, or do you think that this is something that can be sustained throughout the season? Is it a big deal that Aaron Rodgers started off the season with a game like this?
It is a big, huge deal, no doubt about it. To start the year off this way, with the way that he had started off the previous 2 seasons, is tremendous. And to do it against a team that said, we don't want you anymore, get the fuck out of our building, he stuffed it right in their face. And the Jets had that game for a while. So you got to give it to Rodgers for coming back again with a lot of no names. Yeah, they got lucky on a little bounce with DK Metcalf, but other than that, he's hitting Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith gets a flip for a touchdown. I mean, they really started running some good offensive plays. And Aaron Rodgers, he could still whip that ball, bro.
Dude, I think 2 of his 4 touchdown passes were rolling out on the run. That last one he caught like the game clincher. Just like and you know me, everybody who knows me knows I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, but I watched that Pittsburgh. I was going back and I'm like, wow. So Brian Jones says not a big deal. Simon and Steve-O says it is a big deal. You and I agree it is a big deal.
I think so. I think it's a very big deal. I really do. I think a motivated Aaron Rodgers is a really big thing. He hasn't had that chip on his shoulder in quite a while. And the fact that a team said, we don't want you anymore.
Flat out.
He's like, you know what? I can still play football. Let me show you what I can do. And he went out and he did it, man.
So let me ask you this. So we talked about the dinner plate that Daniel Jones got when he got home. What do you think Aaron Glenn got on his plate when he got home, when his wife was like, you didn't think Aaron Rodgers could play anymore? Look what he did to you. I'm assuming that that's partially how the conversation went. But my concern in chat and Prophet, what about Pittsburgh's defense? Does that concern you? That's like a 2A big deal, no deal.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think they
concern?
were really taken off guard by that run game because Brees Hall was running it, Braden Allen was running it, and Justin Fields was running it. I
Yep.
mean, they really had that run game going. It wasn't the passing game that had that offense moving up and down the field. It really wasn't at all. Even though Justin Fields did do a pretty good job for the most part. The defense for Pittsburgh, they did not adjust well, and that's something that they got to get on, man, because that's supposed to be their backbone. Is we're not going to let up more than 20, 23 points a game. And Aaron Rodgers now has shown that we can come out and beat you. But if Rodgers has to go put up 36, 38 points a game, that's not going to happen consistently. I'm sorry, it's not. I think that week one, both defenses were kind of caught off guard a little bit.
Okay, all right. And I agree with that 100%. Now, this is right in your wheelhouse. The number 3, big deal or no deal, George Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. I've ranted about this before, about he's their only consistent offensive weapon right now that you can depend on. And what happens, I jinx the guy. He goes out and he's potentially out for a few weeks. Is that a big deal or no deal for a San Francisco 49er team that thought that they were going to be back in the mix for the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl this year?
Well, first of all, it's a big deal to my fantasy team, not the one that we're in the other league, because now I lose them and I got to go find some schlep on the freaking waiver wire because another good tight ends exist. If
I'll
you
give
guys
you
already
TJ
have,
Hawkinson.
he ain't even available. In the chat, give me some tight ends that I can go grab for the next couple of weeks because I don't have any George Kittle right now. But that's definitely a really big deal because the 49ers, in a lot of people's minds, and even in Vegas' minds, said this team is the front runner to win the NFC West and a playoff team. Without your best pass-catching guy out there right now, and I know you got Jawan Jennings, but he's banged up. No Brandon Ayuk for a while. Ricky Pearsall, I like the way that he's playing, but George Kittle makes it go in the passing game. All right, it's McCaffrey obviously doing his thing, and he had a really good game. Quietly had a good game with a lot of yards from scrimmage. But George Kittle is that man who owns the middle of the field. Nobody can take that away from him. He breaks tackles. He doesn't let the first guy take him down, or the second guy, or the third guy for that matter. So it's a really big deal to lose him when you don't have these other guys. And again, we traded away Deebo Samuel. So who do we have out there? Ricky Pearsall and a bunch of guys who are limping around.
Yeah, and speaking of which, and I will go on the show and publicly eat this crow. I said Deebo was washed. And he had a really, really good game against albeit against the Giants, but he was a factor in that game. He scored a touchdown. I think he had 6, 7, 8 catches, something like that. They made it a focal point. They almost made like a concerted effort to make him a part of their game plan. So, but actually,
you know, over here, I'm getting for tight end Juwan Johnson. He had a really big game, and then Brenton Strange had a good game also. Yep. Told you about Jaguars, man, and I know they played the Panthers, but still, watch out.
And here, let's do one more real quick. PFF.
Let's do it.
Player of the week, a guy who nobody thought would even start this week, and that guy is that quarterback, that number 9 guy for the Los Angeles Rams, 245 yards. Had a touchdown pass. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford. Became the 10th player with 60,000 yards, the fastest ever to 60,000 yards. Big deal or no deal that the Rams came out and looked the way that they did in their first game, and Matthew Stafford looked healthy. He was out there running around, just like the old gunslinger Matt Stafford. Is that a big deal or no deal that Stafford came out and he looked healthy? Now, whatever happened after the game, ice bath, heating pad, whatever. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna say it's a big deal because of who they beat. They beat a really, really tough defense, and that showed for a while. It was hard to score points in that game on both sides because the Rams defense played really well also. Yeah. So they played a good game, and they gave opportunities. So for a little while in that game, I'm like, come on, Rams, you got to start moving the ball. We got to get Kyron Williams moving the ball a little bit more. Devontae Adams, he was doing this thing. Puka Nacua is just unfreaking believable. He is unreal. The guy is so freaking good. It's ridiculous. It's like Jerry Rice out there. I swear, unreal. But it just, to me, it is a big deal to get off to that start. And if Matthew Stafford came out of that game not worse than the way that he came in, I'm not saying healthier because that's going to be impossible. That's the key right there. So how long can they sustain it? And is Jimmy Garoppolo going to have to come in at some
Jimmy
point?
G, baby.
Stafford sit
James
for a moment?
Garoppolo, the fifth, or whatever the hell.
Stafford may have to sit for a while if they want to bring this one all the way, because I don't know if that old man can last these 17 games, man. It's going to be tough.
I will say this, is that it renewed my confidence in my I know it's only week 1, but it did renew my confidence in my Super Bowl pick when I picked the Ravens versus the Rams. So
yeah, you did.
So, but yeah, we'll see. So, but
don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about the Ravens just yet. They should have won that game. They're a really good team, man.
Absolutely not. So that was a Big Deal or No Deal, sponsored by us.
Yeah, you know what? We can say it. Sponsored by Join Us for Jordan. All right,
there you go.
JoinUsForJordan.org. That's where you guys want to go get some pretty cool stuff over there. All right, we like that. All right, ready to rock and roll. We got more stuff to do over here. The show goes on. We love you guys in the chats. We appreciate it. Love you all listening. And again, if you don't hear it, go back to the podcast. Listen to the good shit later. But we got more now. Week 2 game picks. We're going to have a few locks in there. We're going to go over them real quick. First up, Thursday night game. We got Commanders-Packers. We got a good one. Now, you know that I think that Washington is a little bit overrated in my eyes. People got them maybe going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't see that at all. To me, they're a fringe playoff team, and the Packers are at home. They're playing really good, but they're only favored by 2.5. That gets me scratching my head a little bit. I don't know. I think Josh Jacobs can take over this game. I like the Packers to win this one. High-scoring battle, 34-26.
Oh wow! Okay. Well, I have them. I have the Packers winning that one as well. Maybe not that high a score, and I got like the cliched, probably the most picked score in the history of the NFL. I'm going to go the 24 or 27-24.
Yeah,
I like
that was the score last night.
Yeah, I kind of everybody picks that score. It's like the default score to go to.
Right.
But yeah, I like them in that game, and for all the reasons Simon says, Commanders 27-24.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, the Packers.
Simon says, baby.
I know you're not high on Jordan Love, but you know what? If Micah Parsons, he's only going to get that defense better and better and better. And if Dobbs and Reed can actually catch the football like they did against the Lions, they're going to be a tough out. They are going to be a tough out. So
apparently they practiced a little bit more.
Yep, give me Packers 27-24.
All right, Simon liking Jaden Daniels over there. All right, so
Simon is a Jaden Daniels slappy. Simon was on me about Jaden Daniels last season.
Bills-Jets, our next one. That's always a weird game, man. I mean, the Jets somehow like to beat the Bills. It's just, I don't know how this happens, Ben. They looked really good. We talked about them against Pittsburgh this weekend, but the Bills, it just seemed like that freaking juggernaut, man. I don't know. I think the defense for the Jets gets a little bit tighter and makes Josh Allen sweat this game out a little bit. But I think ultimately that they'll probably end up winning the game around 24-17. The Jets will keep it close for a while, but I like the Bills.
Actually, I like I'm kind of on the fence about, is that going to be a close game or is that going to be a blowout? I'm looking something along the lines of like 30-21. I think Josh Allen, and we may have to change our Super Bowl pick, or at least I might later on in the season, because what I saw this past weekend from him, he's happy now. He's married.
Yep.
He convinced Haley Steinfeld to move to Buffalo, for crying out loud. I mean, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. I think they keep the ball rolling. I think they're going to probably be top 3 offensive scoring teams in the league. Give me the Buffalo Bills 30-21 over the Jets.
Okay, interesting. So you and Simon both like the over in that game. Simon was mentioning the over as well. Man, I've been trying to stay away from these over-unders lately. They scare the hell out of me.
Well, for the sake of what we're talking about here, chat, we're just doing these straight up. We're not doing these against.
Yeah, we're going straight up. I mean, I'll throw the betting lines out there. Like the next week, we talk Bears-Lions. The game is back in Detroit, so it's in the Dome. 2 0-1 teams that maybe shouldn't be based on what happened. The Lions are favored 4.5. This is one of those games where they say, fuck you, Chicago. This is our time. We need to win this game. If we're going to be taken seriously as a contender in the NFC and to go to the Super Bowl, got to win the ball game. I think they put up a lot of points. I think Chicago will sneakily score a few more in the fourth quarter. Give me 34-24, and that'll be one of my locks this weekend. I like the Lions. Lock it in.
So, yeah, and depending on where you go, that I just saw that on a site that I'm not going to mention because we're not sponsoring anybody here, but they were 5. Actually, it was 5.5. So
Oh
if you
yeah,
can,
all right. I would still take it.
if you can get the 4.5 though, absolutely take it. There's a little bit better value there. So
But does that freak you out a little bit though? Why is it that low?
because they're
Low.
not confident in what the Lions can do. I'm actually kind of shocked that the Lions are favored in that game because you know how I feel about the Bears roster. They scare the hell out of me, and they really do. And when I watched them, I actually watched them last night, and it's like, you know what? All my fears. Yeah, I would not, like I said, I would not be surprised if Chicago ends up one of the wild card teams this year. There could be 3 playoff teams coming out of the NFC North, and Chicago could be
Caleb
one.
Williams, he needs to stop freaking painting his damn nails, man, and just
Oh my
stop
God.
the earrings and everything. Just come to
Yeah.
work, wear a suit and tie if you got to. Just get to the game, play hard, rally your troops around him. I just don't feel like he's a leader, man. I don't feel like he gets the guys ready to go. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he made a few good plays last night. He looked good in the first half, but then it was like Freaky Friday. Him and J.J. McCarthy just totally switched freaking positions.
They
Lucky
did.
took over in the fourth quarter, and Caleb Williams, I mean, yeah, he ran for a nice touchdown, but you got to be more consistent, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to back.
Well, no, and you're absolutely right. And so, having said all of that, what I just mentioned about how high I am, I have the Lions winning that game 31-17.
Okay. All right. So you see him winning pretty handily then.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
do. They better. They better because it doesn't get, you got the Giants and the Browns over the next 8 weeks, but then, like I mentioned earlier, all the other ones in between, it's going to be very, very tough. You can't start the season 0-2 in the NFL.
No, man, you really, unless you're the Baltimore Ravens, they're the only
Yeah.
team who could do that and come back. That's about it. Bears looked like a real 7-10-ish team last night. Yep, I'm with you. I think that's the record I had for them, Brian, so I can get on board with that. All right, tell me about this next one, bro. We have the Browns and the Ravens. Again, 2-0-1 teams. The Browns hung in there with Cincinnati. The Ravens should have won that game in Buffalo. They were actually favored to win that game. They're favored in this one, Prime, by 12.5 points over the Browns. It's always scary in a divisional battle. What do you think about this one?
Well, actually, and I saw that one for as low as 10.5. But I tell people, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Always watch the point spreads early in the week because it's not always about the spread, and it's where the money's going. So
hey, you're exactly right.
You'll look
Where's
at the
money
ticker.
going? Right.
You'll look at the ticker sometimes, and it'll have like actually Minnesota. Prime example, Minnesota. Prime, no pun intended. Prime example. Minnesota was favored or -1.5 on that 4-letter network, but they gave Chicago a 52% chance to win the game. So you got to be careful. You got to be very careful when you're reading these lines. It's not just the point spread and this and that and the other. So you can have 70% of the bets for one team, but 80%, like the Philly game, the Philly-Dallas game, I think like 70% or 70-some% of the bets were on Philly, but most of the money was on Dallas. So there's a lot of...
That's right. I was on Dallas. The objective, the objective of Vegas is to even out the betting as much as possible. They want as close to 50-50 as possible because they win on their VIG and all that extra stuff and the money that they win, all the kickbacks and whatnot. Brian Jones loving the Ravens. In this
I do too. I got to 34-10. They covered that with no problem. 34-10 Baltimore.
Ravens, I'm locking this one into 44-21. I think that it's a complete blowout. The Ravens are going to just demolish them this weekend. Know that about it. And they're at home. Again, divisional game, but hey, whatever. All right, next game up, Jaguars and Bengals. Okay, so we got 2 1-0 teams battling it out. I told you, I'm really high on the Jaguars this year. Am I high enough on the Jaguars to beat the Bengals, though? It's in Cincinnati. I didn't feel really good about the way that Cincinnati looked last week, bro.
Are you serious? What the hell? What? It was kind of like when I was watching college football this weekend. Give me 10 seconds. College football this weekend. Clemson, the number 5-6 team in the country, number 4-5 team in the country, was down 16-0, Simon, against Troy. Troy. That's like Michigan and like Wayne State University. And
it's
so
like a made-up place in a
oh my God! And they end up coming back and winning like 27-16. And Troy, Simon, Troy. But it's just that was the whole vibe that I got when I was flicking with that Cincinnati game. It's like, okay, they're going to pull away. They're going to pull away. They're going to pull, and they never did. Cleveland they missed what? Didn't they miss a 2-point conversion or an extra point? And they missed a field goal. So you give them those 4 or 5 points and they win that game. The Cleveland Browns would have won that game, have not been for a couple of years and years. Having said all that, I got Cincinnati winning this one 27-17.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got Cincinnati winning this game also, and I want to go into really quick.
And that's one of my locks, by the way. That's one of my locks. Cincinnati, Jacksonville -3.5. Take that. Take the Bengals and the -3.5.
See, the Bengals, to me, they just didn't look good enough. I liked Cincinnati for a while, and I thought about it a lot today. I'm like, you know what? Jaguars are getting their stuff together, man. I think they can win this game on the road, and I'm going to take that as one of my freaky bets that shouldn't happen. The Bengals should win this game. There's no reason why they shouldn't. But I look at that defense, and I'm like, Jacksonville can run. Jacksonville can throw the ball. They're going to score points on them. And I'm not sure if Burrow and those guys are going to do enough. So you know what? I'm going to take the underdog in the Jacksonville Jaguars in that game and clearly take the 5.5 that the Bengals are laying. Not a popular one right there.
See, now, like, so you had what you're looking at was 5.5. What I was looking at was 3.5. So that's
all right. I got it. These lines just keep switching around.
And like I say in chat, wait till you can take us at our word, but I use kind of wait till the end of the week because these lines, as far as injuries and injury reports and all that stuff, these lines could move. So just kind of pop back in, every now and then and check the line to see if it's going up or down. A major injury could shift the entire point spread from one team to another. So, but yeah, as it sits right now, 3.5 or 5.5. That's my lock of one of my locks of the week. I got,
and that's pretty. You see, 3.5 is low. You would think Cincinnati should be favored by more than that, but maybe the way that they played. And Simon's saying if Burrow plays the same way he did in Week 1, that he can definitely see the Jaguars winning this game. Again, I like the Jaguars this year, man. Maybe I'm a little bit too high on them, but I'm going to take them to seek this one out.
But you know what, though? Cincinnati won. And that's something that they haven't done in the first 2 weeks of the season under Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
they won. So regardless of how it looks, it's in the NFL, in college it's all about how you win, but in NFL it's if you win. And they did something that they don't do very often in the first couple of weeks of the season. So maybe this is a turning point for them. They get off to that 1-0 start, feeling themselves a little bit. Maybe they just, play Jacksonville and just they may start to groove back. As long as they stay away from all the cool.
The winner of this game can really kickstart their season going 2-0 and building that confidence and starting to take off. This could be a really big sneaky Week 2 game. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. I'm not really looking forward to this one. Rams-Titans. I would be looking forward to it if it was 1999 and they were playing in the Super Bowl again. McNair and Kurt Warner,
right.
Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Dice and all those guys. That was a lot of fun. The Music City Miracle, greatest play in football history. Unbelievable. But, okay, so the game's in Tennessee. Cam Ward looked pretty good against a really tough defense in the Broncos. That game was tight for a while. Denver pulls away. The Rams, obviously, their defense kept them in the game mostly against Houston, and when the offense had to make a play, they made a play. When the defense had to make a play for the Rams, they made a play as well. So it's really hard for me to see the Titans beating the Rams because the Rams are a better team. But, brother, I'm going with the Titans at home, man. Give me the upset, 23-20.
Wow. You heard it here first, ladies. And what was your final score?
23-20. They win by a field goal late in the game.
Oh, man. Wow. Although I agree with some of what you said, I do not share your enthusiasm for the Titans at this particular time because Cam Ward did look good at times, but at times he looked like a rookie. Yes. And I think my biggest concern with that game is that the lack of adjustments, it seemed like, for the offensive line on Tennessee when Denver really started to consistently get pressure and get to Cam Ward a couple times. But all of this is rookie learning experience. I do think Cam Ward will be an above average. I think he'll be better than what a lot of people are projecting him to be. Having said all that, I have the LA Rams winning 23-17. Don't take the -7. That's not one of my locks, but I would not take -7 at this point. I think it's going to be a less than. So you got to remember, 80% of the games in the NFL are by one score or less. So it's dangerous when you start getting these points. That's why I stayed away from Denver and Tennessee last week because it was anywhere from a 7.5 or 8.5 point spread, and they wound up winning by 8? It was 20-12.
Exactly. So, you know what? I hate these freaking Vegas, man. These guys get the line right all the time.
All the time.
I swear to
all
God.
the time. All
Let me tell you
the time.
something. Dallas, Philly, I had Dallas +8, and I had the over 47.5. There was 41 points scored by halftime. Then freaking God decides to have a lightning storm and just strikes down the field, and nobody scores anymore, and I lose my bet. What the hell?
Well, no,
was
but that's when the defense is set in with the halftime
Yeah.
adjustments for the coaches. No, somebody call you and say, "Hey, you want to live? You want to make it home? Yeah, you're gonna do this.
Yeah, you got right.
You're gonna do this." That big fat Tony called him. That's what happened. But yeah, you're exactly right, and that's why I say,
Oh,
man, Vegas
God.
knows. Vegas knows.
They really do, man. I hate them. I gotta get in that team somehow.
But yeah,
I need the inspiration.
23-17. I got Rams over the Titans.
All right, so going Rams over Titans, which most people will do. I will take the upset. Upsets happen every week in the NFL.
I'm gonna put a
Will it
big
happen
U
with
next
the
to that
Patriots?
game.
Will it happen with the
Upset.
Patriots?
Go ahead. I'm
Upset.
sorry.
No, say it. What
No,
do you
I
think?
said I put a big U, the letter U next to that game for your upset. That stranger things have
Apple
happened.
U. Should be a Y-O-U. You stupid idiot. For picking this game. Anyway, as far as upsets go, there is no one in this next game. Patriots, Dolphins. Neither one of them look good. We thought the Patriots they started off okay. We're like, all right, maybe we're going to see something going on over here. But then Geno Smith and the Raiders come from all the way across the country and decide to go ahead and spoil that for them. They win that game. We talked about the Dolphins already. They look like a JV team. They're just pathetic. So where do you go in this game? To me, look, the Patriots are tougher. So at the line of scrimmage, they're going to win the battle. They're going to probably run the ball a little bit more. Drake May, maybe he'll start hooking up with Stephon Diggs. We'll see. But I just think that the Patriots are a better team and they're a tougher team. So I'm going to take them.
So you're taking the Patriots on the road. What's that? That's like 1.5 over under like 43 or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to take. I'm going to roll with you on that one. I'm going to take the New England Patriots. And again, we're doing these straight up, not against the spread. We've given you a couple of our locks. Yeah, I'm going to go. Drake May, like you said, shows some flashes, but here's my whole thing. I'm not even basing it on what I saw against New England or what I saw with New England. I'm basing on what the hell I saw at Miami. And you hit it right on the head earlier when you said Tyreek Hill looks like a prisoner that, he looked like Tim Robbins in the Shawshank Redemption. He's just like, man, Andy Dufresne. He needs a big poster so he can dig a hole and get the hell out of Miami. So give me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots 23-10 in that one.
Okay, you like them big there. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see it also, man. Miami, they are just like a bunch of babies in a kindergarten class, not getting along at all. Like they got to figure shit out over there. No good. Your Giants got to figure shit out. They go on the road to Dallas. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna make
Don't
this is a
apologize.
lock for me. The Giants just didn't show anything. Now they're going to go on the road again to another divisional team. The Cowboys coming off a game they thought that they should have won. They will win this game, locking it in 31-17. I'm sorry, bro.
No, there's no need to apologize because I have a double-digit prediction for this one too. I got, excuse me, I got Dallas 28-14 in this one. I don't see, and I think this could be the swan song for Russell Wilson. I just think Brian Daboll has too much going through his mind right now. He's all over the place, probably in his mind thinking, how long do I stick with Russ?
He needs mental
At
health
what point
therapy.
do I pull the ripcord on the season? I mean, you're not going to bail 2 weeks into the season, but the fact that you're going to be 0-2 and it's 2 division opponents. So remember, that's like 3.5, 4 losses.
That's right.
So the Giants, if they lose this, they're, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much over. So give me Dallas 28-14, 28-13, somewhere in that vicinity. If you're going to take that, I think it's 5.5 with Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. Over or under, I believe, is like 44, 45 points. But yeah, take Dallas straight up over the New York Giants. I got them. Let's go 28-13.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm with you. That's one of my locks right there. Absolutely. Divisional game, but the Giants, just not yet. I still got to see more of that D-line. They're young, but they'll get there. We'll see. All right, next one up. The Seahawks. What a joke. Even my 49ers beat them out in the Pacific Northwest. I can't even believe that.
You don't like – wait a minute. Wait. You don't like Sam Darnold?
Can you believe it?
No.
Sam Darnold on his 20th team already. It's on a 33rd team. There's only 32 teams in the NFL. Unbelievable. You should go to the USL or wherever the hell they're freaking playing now. God. So they got to go play the Steelers. They got to go all the way from up there, the Pacific Northwest, all the way over there to the north, to the Northeast, and play the Steelers and get their ass kicked. Steelers are going to win this game, no problem. The defense will finally show up, and Sam Darnold will look exactly like the reason why Kevin O'Connell said, "Nope, I'm going to go with the child over you. Get out of here. I'm good with the kid. Bye-bye."
Well,
Sam Darnold, you lose. Steelers win big.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think Seattle's going to get exposed in this game for a lot of things. I think this is the return of the Pittsburgh defense, as you mentioned. I have Pittsburgh 27-17. The over, I believe, on this is like 40. Oof. So I'm going up. I'm going to go over on this because I think based on what I saw with Aaron Rodgers, because Seattle can potentially score, but based on what I saw, Aaron Rodgers, and it's a home game. We're gonna see if he can do it 2 weeks. I think it's their first home game with Aaron Rodgers at QB. They're gonna be hyped. They're gonna be jacked. So yeah, give me Pittsburgh 27-17 over the Redhead Seahawks.
Yeah, the Redhead Seahawks. I love it right there. And Simon's right. There's been a lot of talk about Charbonnet over Kenneth Walker getting the touches. He did score a touchdown last week, Charbonnet. And they do have a decent running game when you put those two together. And JSN is a really, really good player, no doubt about it. But again, when you have a quarterback like Sam Darnold and your head coach is not Kevin O'Connell, things are just not going to work out. Sorry about that. So, yeah, big problems. Big problems. All right. What game are we up to now? So we did Seahawks, Steelers. Okay, 49ers, Saints. Now, the 49ers are probably not even going to have Brock Purdy this game. His shoulder hurts, his pinky hurts, his intestines hurts. I mean, everything is hurting with this guy. George Kittle is out. Like I told you, we have no wide receivers. Can my 49ers win this game in New Orleans, even though New Orleans sucks?
I think so. I think just New Orleans is just that bad. So
they are bad.
They're a bad football team, and I believe that if I'm picking this one, I'd give me San Francisco 20-13. It's going to be a relatively low scoring game. I don't this is one of those games that you kind of stay away from. The over under on this one is around 41-ish. San Francisco probably a 4 or 5 point favorite depending on what you're looking at. It is a road game for San Francisco, but I think it doesn't matter. I think Kyle Shanahan could go in at quarterback and beat the Saints. They're just a bad organization. They're just a bad football team right now. Yeah. And yeah, I got the Niners winning that one by, like I say, 20-13.
Every reason in the world the 49ers should win. Simon says Saints, joking around. Kidding now, saying profit. He's got the Niners. Well, you know what? I'm not kidding around. The Saints are going to beat them. The 49ers have nothing. They have nothing. Not that the Saints have a lot. But Alvin Kamara actually played a pretty decent game. Chris Olave, they got a few players over there. I'm not in love with Spencer Rattler, obviously, but this home game, the crowd noise.
The snake. You don't like the snake.
The Niners won't put up more than 10 points. They won't. They won't put up more than 10 points. Mac Jones is probably going to be the quarterback.
Jones. I didn't.
Mac Jones. I'm Mac Jones.
Hey, I bet you wish you had Jimmy G now, huh? You son of a gun.
Get that dirt out your mouth. That nastiness out your mouth. You eating that crazy chili.
I think the only thing that compares to your vitriol for Jimmy G is mine for Aaron Rodgers. That is it.
It's just too much with Jimmy G. I can go on for 3 hours about him. Just too much. Yeah, I see Steve-O, Simon, you guys are a little whacked out by my call right there, but you'll see. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Panthers, Cardinals. Oh, you know how I like my Cardinals, and they beat those Saints in New Orleans last week. Not really that impressive, but they started taking it over in the fourth quarter a little bit more. The Carolina Panthers are now desperate for a win after looking really bad in week 1 in Jacksonville. What do you think happens here?
That's one of my locks of the week, and they have depending again what you're looking at, they have Arizona's 6.5 point favorite in that game, and I'm taking Arizona plus the touchdown. They served me well last week. I think there's going to be a lot of games where Arizona's favored by 6.5, 7 points, and this is one here. They're at home against a Carolina team that still has a lot to prove. We were mediocre on them. We weren't high on them. We were kind of buzzed You know, we weren't
Yeah.
we weren't high yet. We were like 2 drinks in and not 6. But I do believe that they have enough on their defense. Maybe this will be that Marvin Harrison breakout party. But either way it goes, I have them winning this one 28-10.
28-10. All right. I'm going to get to that game in a second. Real quick, I'm going to go back to something that Simon was saying. Jake Moody, the kicker, who I was texting you and complaining about.
I was just going to mention that too, yeah.
Rip his damn head off. I have had enough of this guy. Oh, big kicker from Michigan. Get the fuck out of here. This guy is so bad they waived him for Eddie Pinheiro, who hasn't played in like 12 years. This is unbelievable. That's how bad he is. He is so bad. He's so bad. I mean, these kickers are kicking from 65 yards like it's no problem. This kid can't make a 23-yard field goal. It goes wide right every time. It is insane. It is maddening to watch. I can't take it. Finally, I'm glad he's gone.
Oh, that's funny. So did you guys actually kick the tires and give Justin Tucker a phone call?
Oh, jeez, yeah. We need that publicity on our freaking team right now.
Yeah, that was pretty big. As soon as I saw that I was going to text you back and say, oh, well, your wish came true because what'd you say? He put you in a bad moody?
Yeah, he sure did.
But yeah, I see San Francisco I see Arizona winning that game very easy. And it's like I say, San Francisco, and I forgot to mention in my big deal or no deal about the fact that Brock Purdy's a little bit banged up here and there. So, yeah, if Mac Jones has to play QB, I mean, yeah, Godspeed.
Simon with a little fantasy advice looking over here. Prophet, I need fantasy advice. Do I trade James Conner or Trey Benson on the rise? I would say no. You got to keep James Conner. He's still their starter. He's still an ultimate player. I know that Benson is a good player, but until, God forbid, Conner does get hurt or something like that, I mean, if you can get Benson without getting rid of James Conner, then great. But if you can have both on the same team, but no, don't get rid of James Conner. He's still one of the most underrated backs.
No, I think about it. I got James Conner on my team too. Yeah, Simon, don't trade him.
No, don't trade him. Keep him.
I still have faith in James Conner.
Keep him. So, yeah, I'm with you on the Cardinals. They win pretty big, 33-20. I got the final score. Panthers get some garbage touchdown
30
at the end. Yeah, they're going big time in this one. No, they're going to score all over. James Conner in this game, you definitely want to start him. 2 touchdowns, no problem. Absolutely.
I'm actually looking at mine right now, thinking about throwing him. Yeah.
He's gonna give you some points this week. He'll give you some points.
Yeah, don't trade him, Simon. Don't give up on him. I'm not giving up on him yet.
No, definitely not yet. Don't do that. All right, now we got the Horsey battle, the Horsey Bowls up next, the Broncos and the Colts. And all right, so again, 2 more 1-0 teams. The game is in Indianapolis. They're feeling themselves big time. See, Jonathan Taylor can get back on track over here. The Broncos defense didn't look fantastic, but pretty good. The offense, I thought they could have used some work, but, we hit Cortland Sutton a little bit late, Marvin Mims, a couple of nice plays that they made down there a little bit late, and tried to get the running game going with J.K. Dobbins, actually. So this is an interesting game with Denver going on the road to Indy.
Yeah, I still, me, I love my Bo Nix.
Yeah, you do. You're Oregon quarterbacks. You do love them.
And Dante Moore on the rise actually right now for Oregon. They put up 69 on Oklahoma State this past week. 69-3.
Is that a new poster on your wall?
It's gonna be. I got to get a Dante Moore signed jersey. This was a guy that was as bad as anybody 2 years ago. He came in the game and threw 3 consecutive pick sixes. I'm not lying. Look it up. And there were people that were ready to give up on him. He was a transfer, I believe, from USC. And he came in and had about 220 yards last week. 69-3. They just ransacked Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy was talking crap to Dan Lanning, the coach of the Oregon Ducks, talking about, you guys spent $40 million in NIL to get these guys to come to your school. Well, you guys got all that oil money, that Boone T. Pickens that you guys got down there in Oklahoma State. Start rattling his pockets and get some players. Anyway.
There you go. Tell him, Prime.
Anyway, give me the Broncos 23-20.
Oh,
because there's a small part of me. There's a small part of me that is kind of rooting for Indiana Jones.
I know.
Indiana Jones. He's got the big boulder chasing him, but it's not a boulder. It's a Bronco. I think Cortland Sutton and Mims and Bo Nix make just enough plays, and that defense is, I won't say underrated because they were a top 5 defense last year. They are this year as well. Give me Bo Nix and the Bronx, Sean Payton, Indianapolis. They're going to go in there and they're going to take that game, but it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, Indy's not going to shut down Denver the way they did Miami. Obviously, Broncos are going to put up some points, and I agree with you. Exact same score. So I would have the Colts covering in this game because I'm looking at the line. I got 3.5. What are you looking at?
Actually, the line, I think it's 3. It's 3.
You're looking at 3. Okay.
Last time I checked,
if it goes to 3.5, I'll take the Colts because I think the Broncos win by a field goal. But that's a real tough one, right?
Oh
there.
no! Actually, here, this is value, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Prophet and I do what we do. We do this for you. This line, the particular line that I'm looking at, and you're gonna have to hunt this down because I can't give you the site, but it's actually 1.5.
1.5.
Denver 1.5. If you can get that, take it.
Oh my goodness!
Take it. I can't tell you where I'm looking at it right now, Prophet. I'll tell you off the air. But if you're betting Broncos, and right now, like you say, it was what, 3.5? What you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is 1.5. The over under 41.5. Take Denver in the 1.5 because I have them winning by 3. That's value,
a head
ladies and gentlemen.
scratcher, man.
That's value. Somebody knows something, and we'll see how that line moves as the week goes on. But I would probably jump on that because more than likely the line would go up slightly. So that line by game time could be profit to your 3.5 points. But right now, where I'm looking is 1.5. That's value all day long.
Man, they think Daniel Jones is freaking Andrew Luck or something like that. Man, I don't know what they got going on. Damn, boy. Wow. Okay. All right. Super Bowl rematch from last year. Big time game we got going on. Eagles versus Chiefs. The game is in Arrowhead where the Chiefs are freaking absolutely dominant. Will they get dominated again by the Philadelphia Eagles, who really, even though they played kind of like a C-plus game, they still look like the freaking Super Bowl champions that they are. They are tough as hell. But the Chiefs, listen to me, the Chiefs lost their first game. All right, so they come all the way back up here after a plane ride that lasted 4.5 weeks, and they got to play a second game now. Can they take care of the defending champions?
Oh, this one is one of those games. If you're a bettor, you kind of shake your head like, am I going to stay away from this one? Because you talk about a coin flip. 1.5. Philly 1.5. Okay, Philly 1.5. Over under 46.5. You know what? I believe in Philly. I've rant and raved about how I think top to bottom they have the best roster in the league. The Giants fan, it kills me to say this, but we're well beyond that loyalty thing right now.
Get that, man.
Give me Philadelphia, but it's going to be a relatively low scoring game. Give me Philadelphia in that one. Give me like 20-17, 20-14. Well, let's go 2014 Philly.
All right, yeah, that is pretty low scoring. I think it's going to be a few more points scored in that game, 27-24. I think that the Chiefs are going to keep it close, but I like Philly because they are just a better team. They really are. And Jalen Hurts, again, we talked about it at the top of the show. I have more trust in him right now to win a bowl game than I do Patrick Mahomes. So give me Philadelphia defending champions winning that game again. All right, Sunday Night Football, my friend. All right, the Vikings right back in the spotlight hosting the Atlanta Falcons, who, in my opinion, blew that game against the Buccaneers. They kind of had their number in the regular season. They were winning that game. They had it, but then Baker Mayfield and rookie Emeka Egbuka hooked up big time in the end zone, touchdown, won the game. So the Falcons are now 0-1 going to the Vikings, who are 1-0 on Sunday Night Football. Minnesota looked really good again, especially in that fourth quarter. And I did like the way that Michael Penix looked for a while. What's your opinion on him and as you go through this game?
Well, I'm looking at this game, and the one thing I need him to do is start throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is one of my fantasy tight ends. I'm going back and forth. I'm going to start him this week, or I might still stick with Warren just to see. Not a Michael Penix fan. I think Michael Penix, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago when I went on my little college rant. He was really good when he was throwing a Dunze and all those other big guys in college. But, you're standing back there with 10 seconds in the pocket, and it's a little bit different. But I do believe that he will show improvement this year. Will it be enough for him to get in the playoffs or anything like that? I won't say that, and I did not say that when we did our predictions last week. But I do see him being able to win them some games that they probably aren't supposed to win. However, having said all that, this is Minnesota home opener, Sunday Night Football, Carrie Underwood, Mike Tirico, the whole nine, and your girl. Oh my God. Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor. I told my wife, I was like, "Yeah, Jason likes Maria Taylor, and he gets on my case. He gets on my case when I talk about it." But yeah, give me that's a 4.5 point. What I'm looking at. Give me Minnesota in this one. Give me Minnesota 23-17 over the Falcons. I think they cover, but I also think it's going to be a late in the game type thing, similar to what the Bears game was last night. Night before last, 2 nights.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be close. Also, I don't think that Minnesota's not that juggernaut yet. They're going. I believe that they will get there later on toward the end of the season. I think they're going to keep grooving and moving. They're going to win this game by a field goal. It's going to be somewhere along around it. I think points will be scored. I'm looking at maybe like a 27-24 game in this one, but I do think the Vikings take it. I don't think that Atlanta is good enough yet unless Bijan Robinson just has a day of days. That's the only way I can see them really doing it. But with how good he is, I see them keeping it at least close in Sunday Night Football. But Minnesota will get the win, go to 2-0, and Atlanta dropping to 0-2. Boy, oh boy, not good.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that real quick about Bijan.
Yeah.
I think they need to feature him more. I don't think he gets the ball enough.
I
really don't. I really don't.
agree.
That guy needs 20. I mean, you need to go back like to treat him the way that Derrick Henry treats, or the Ravens treat Derrick Henry, and the way Saquon is treated in Philly. You got to give him the ball because he can do so much for you, other than just gain 2-3 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, whatever it is.
He's a very good pass catcher also.
Absolutely, man. And it's not even a fantasy thing because he's not on my team. I just think overall, I was a big fan of his at Texas. And overall, I think Atlanta needs to just ride him, man, because Penix isn't going to, he's not a world beater yet, but Bijan can be. And I think when you got Drake London, got Kyle Pitts, you got some weapons, but I think the best guy offensively is Bijan. And you need to just start feeding that guy the ball, man. Start feeding him the ball.
No doubt, man. Agreed. All right. We got 2 Monday Night Football games to close it out before we do our Freaky Fantasy Football Draft, which is a lot of fun if you guys haven't heard that before. All right, so we were just talking about those Buccaneers. They are on the road against the Texans. Man, this one was the hardest game for me to figure out. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, I like the Bucs offense. I love me some Bucky Irving. But is it enough with that defense and the Texans at home coming off of a loss? Man, I think that's just a little bit too much. I'm looking at a real low-scoring game here, relatively speaking. 17-14. I'm going to go with Houston.
Well, and Will Anderson kind of did Will Anderson things last week. I think he had a sack. He had like 3 tackles for loss. He had a couple quarterback hits. Very disruptive.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for me with the Texans is that and by the way, no, never mind. That's a difference. I won't get in that right now. Anyway, I like CJ Stroud. I'm hoping, the Texans fans are hoping that he continues to progress. They got everybody for the most part. I think the Joe Mixon not being there is going to hurt them more. And this is the type of game that it hurts them when you got a offense that can put up points, when you're really trying to keep the Bucs off the field. And that's going to be the entire key. Will Nick Chubb be enough to do that? Will C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins and company be able to do that? I'm not sure. Houston's favored 2.5 in that game with the site I'm looking at. Give me Tampa to pull the upset. Give me Tampa Bay winning that one, 24-20.
Yeah, Vegas wants you to take Houston laying 2.5 because they figure they can win by a field goal. So, the smart money would be going the other way. So I hear you on that one. Good call. Yeah. The other Monday Night Football game is a West Coast game. The Chargers, after they had to play in Brazil, they go all the way back up. Now they go to Vegas. These schedule makers are freaking idiots, man. They must be smoking the dumbest shit. I don't know what the hell they're on. LSD, acid. I don't know what the hell they're freaking smoking. But anyway, the Raiders are hosting Monday Night Football against the LA Chargers. Can the Chargers do it again? Long road trip, beat it. I mean, obviously not a good team, Kansas City, but the Raiders are 1-0. I don't know. What do you think, Prime?
Well, I do. The one thing is, Geno had a pretty good week last week. So a lot of people are sleeping on that. Geno Smith, he threw for 362 yards last week. So there's a lot of people out there that don't like Geno, but you go back to his last few years in Seattle, and now his first game with the Raiders, the guy can put up some numbers, man.
He can play
put up some numbers. However, it's in Justin Herbert and in Jim Harbaugh I trust. And that line on the game, this is a tricky one, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3.5 as it sits right now. So there's a little bit of temptation there. I'm interested to see where the money is on that one. But I'm going to go the Chargers on the road, even with the travel from Brazil. I'm going to pick them to win that one. I got them. It's going to be a relatively low scoring. Vegas seems to think it's going to be a high scoring game. They got it at 46.5, what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Give me the Chargers in that one simply because of the exhaustion. Give me the Chargers in that one, 23-13.
Yeah, I think the Chargers also, I like them. They're, again, a very well-prepared team. Jim Harbaugh has his guys ready to go. Justin Herbert looked fantastic, man. They were running, they were throwing, they were doing everything against a better Chiefs team, even though the Raiders went into New England. All well and good. It's not like they let them up or anything. It was a close enough game. I like the Chargers in this game, and I do agree with the gamblers out there and the sports bettors, the bookmakers. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Chargers 34-25. The Raiders will get theirs a little bit if Brock Bowers can come back and be healthy. You saw what Jacoby Myers did. You got Ashton Genty in there. So you're right. Geno Smith and them, they got a little bit of weapons. But for the most part, Chargers better team. So, yeah, I like them. I'm going to go with that. So that's our week 2 right there. Our locks. We gave you guys some lines in there. Gave you a little advice, some fantasy advice, some betting advice. Try and hit all that good shit for you.
You know, of course, we do all this for entertainment purposes only. So, but what did you finish straight up this past week? If you don't mind telling me, I finished. I went 12-5, or 11-5 this past week straight up because
I didn't have a great week. I went 10-6, and that's very subpar for me. But then again, I thought, I'm like, all right, you know what? It's week 1. You went 10-6. You still won a couple of dollars, so it wasn't overall a huge loss. But yeah, I mean, normally I'm around like that 12-5 kind of mark. 12-5. I'm getting my numbers wrong right now. 12-4, or maybe 11-5 at worst. So 11-5 is good. If you can do 11-5 every week, that's good.
Absolutely,
that's good.
You're still winning. You're still winning money. So it's that at the end of the day, that's the bottom line.
Because Simon's funny over here. I like this. How about Quentin Johnson and CeeDee Lamb switching hands last week? You ain't kidding. I got CeeDee Lamb on both my fantasy teams, man. And while he got me a hell of a lot of points, he could have got a hell of a lot more points, man. My MVP, Dak, was on point, man. He was throwing freaking darts all over the place, man. Now, that last one where CeeDee had to die for it, obviously a little bit tougher. But, man, he put it on the money, man. Dak was money.
Yeah, Dak in... We've been preaching that for the last few weeks now. It's like Dak is plus 4,000. I don't know what the odds are now. They've probably gone down a little bit or up.
Yeah, it's probably better to bet now. Yeah,
it's probably 2,500, maybe 3,000 now. But yeah,
he's probably going to go for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions this week, 350 yards against the Giants. So yeah, watch out.
So, which leads us to Jace, Mr. Prophet, the freaky fantasy draft.
Yes, we got the freaky fantasy football draft. If you guys have never seen this before, it is so much fun. We've been doing it for years throughout different shows and bringing it back now, where every week we will draft 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and a defense. Once you use those players, you cannot use them again for the entire year. So you got to be strategic, look for those matchups over there, and figure out who you're going to use. So, Prime. We have quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense. You can pick anyone you want. Again, this is our week 1 of the Freaky Fantasy Football Draft, all right? So you can make the first pick. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a choice. You can have the first pick, and then I get 2, or I have the first pick, and then you get 2.
Well, considering the pool of players that are currently available, I'll take the first pick.
Okay, and you don't have to pick in any order. Simon loves this idea, by the way. Thank you very much, my
Actually, brother. I was thinking about doing something like this at work
you should
for some chips, but yeah.
Man.
So
everybody loves that stuff, and you can go any order. You don't have to pick quarterback first. You can pick defense first. You can do whatever you want. Be strategic. Go get him, man. Let's see what you got.
Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Actually, my first pick is gonna be quarterback. Okay. And it's going to be the guy that we just talked about. Give me Dak Prescott versus the Giants. Give me Dak versus the Giants.
I like it. That's good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a pretty damn good pick right there. All right, so I get 2 now, and I can go any position, any which way I want. I'm going to take my running back first, Josh Jacobs.
Really?
Yep, I really like him this week.
You like you some Josh Jacobs. You've been consistent. You've been consistent with that, so I can't.
Telling you, man, I like him. He's a good player. Watch out this week.
There's no hypocrites on this show. We stick to our guns.
That's right, baby. You know what we do. All right, and Lamar lost last week and had a big game. He's gonna have another huge game. Give me Lamar Jackson, a quarterback.
Why did I figure that's who you were going to go with?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to take Lamar bright and early already in the season. I won't be able to use him for the entire year. That's it. But because I got the Ravens in a lock this week and them scoring 40-plus points, why not? So I got Lamar, Josh Jacobs. Now you get 2 picks. You got Dak. You got wide receiver, running back, tight end, defense. Where are you going?
Here's what I'm going to do, and Simon will be proud of this one. I'm going to go. I have to give him a shot. I can't believe that the hype is over already. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs as my running back.
No doubt.
And give me, here's a shocker, but I'm kind of on board because I think it's going to happen. Give me DK Metcalf for my wide receiver this week.
All right.
For Pittsburgh.
I like it. So far, you got Dak, Gibbs, and Metcalf. I got Lamar Jackson and Josh Jacobs. I got 2 more picks coming up right now, and we're going to go with, let's see. I didn't have a big week last week, so I expect him to have a pretty big week this week, and that'll be one Jamar Chase. So let me get him. I'll take him early. And as far as I can go tight end or defense right now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid against the Jets.
Damn you.
Oh, you like that one, huh? Oh, sneak.
Okay, here. And I said it. I was talking to one of my boys. I say, the Knox Kincaid combo.
Yeah.
Could end up being, the best tight end combo in the league, even though we look
starting to see that out of teams now with the 2 tight ends a lot
and
more.
My boy Lovin. What's up, McKnight? How you doing?
Hey, McKnight. What's up, man?
So
missed you during the show. We had a good one today.
Damn you. I was gonna go Dalton. All right. Well, I have my last 2 picks are my tight end.
Tight end and defense.
Here's what I'm going to do for tight end. He can't continue to be ignored, and sooner or later, J.J. McCarthy's going to start finding him consistently. Give me T.J. Hawkinson.
All right, bring in the hot.
And then for my defense, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Good one.
I'm hoping for a bounce back performance from the Steelers. I don't think they're going to give up 30. Steve-O doesn't like Showtime. Says your Showtime sucks.
I love it. Simon, real quick, going in. So, answering the question. So, can the other guy use the same guys, or are they unavailable for the rest of it? No. So, I can use anybody that Prime picked. It doesn't matter. I just can't use anybody that I picked. He can't use anybody that he picked going throughout the entire season. I'm telling you, when it gets to like week 12, week 13, and you're searching for a tight end, it's like, oh my God, your eyes are scratching. You don't know what to do with yourself.
Or when you're forced to draft, I don't know, Jimmy G maybe.
Oh God, man, get that filth out of your mouth. How are you not throwing up all over that Tom Brady jersey right now? Coming in like the champion that you are because you put me in fantasy football. So you're coming in with your 7 damn Super Bowl rings showing off over here. I get it. All right. I see you, man.
I started to actually bring the 3 of my Giants Super Bowl rings back for a cameo appearance, but I'll wait until we at least win a game. I'll wait till we win a game. I might be waiting all season.
So you got a while.
So I got Dak, Gibbs, DK, Hawk, and Pittsburgh's defense, and you have.
That's a nice squad right there. I got Lamar. I got Josh Jacobs. I got Jamar Chase. I got Dalton Kincaid in my defense. How inept the Dolphins looked last week. Give me the Patriots, man.
That was going to be my second choice.
Yeah, I'm going to watch out. Tua's going to be on his freaking ass that game, man. They're going to come right after him and get him, bro. So to wrap it up, first week of Freaky Fantasy Football. Simon, you know what? Maybe I have to get you in on one of these in a couple of weeks or something because you're loving this idea and I love you for it. All right, Prime has got Dak, Jahmyr Gibbs, DK Metcalf, TJ Hawkinson, and the Steelers defense. I got Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Jamar Chase, Dalton Kincaid, and the Patriots defense. Guys, we cannot use these players anymore for the rest of the year. So that's why you got to get strategic. And then even with, week 12, 13, 14, with all the buys that are in there, man, it gets tough. So you got to have that strategy shit going. Steve-O, no kickers. I'm not wasting time with
we can't do kickers.
I can't even name you half the kickers in the league anymore. And one of them just got booted out of San Fran, which I'm so happy about. Put me in a much better Jake Moody. Freaking Eddie Pinheiro back. I'll take him.
That's insane.
But that was it, man. So, the first full week of NFL football show. We talked about week 1. We got into week 2. We made our picks. We did big deal or no deal. Freaky fantasy football draft. This is what it's going to be like every week, and who knows what other crazy shit's going to happen, because the NFL is nuts, and we love it, and we're here to talk about it with you. And I don't know how it's an hour and 20 minutes prime. I feel like about 7 or 8 minutes went by, because this is so much fun. I love it.
It absolutely is, and it's a lot different when the season starts, because there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot more stuff, real stuff actually happening. So, and again, as always, we thank all you guys in the chat: Simon, Steve-O, Brian Jones, McNiner. We do this for you guys. And Steve-O, I understand. You're not a big fan of the Showtime, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you the week that is and the week that was. So we want to, we don't. Thursday nights is just not a good time slot for us anymore because of Thursday night football and all that other good stuff. You guys are going to be watching Thursday night football. You're not going to want to see these two ugly mugs on Thursday.
As handsome as we both are, you don't want to see our faces Thursday night football. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's a model over here. Come on now.
But yeah, we Simon, glad. Trust me, I know how the grind is there at where our place of employment. So we're glad we can be a part of your day, no matter where you are, no matter where you're from, what you're listening to. Just glad that you're spending a little bit of your Tuesday nights with us. So make sure you check back with us every Tuesday night. And again, we're going to get out there more in the social media universe. So, Simon, you're back on BZN 21, eh? There you go. So, but we just thank you guys each and every week, man. So
no doubt. We
get
appreciate
the word out
it.
there, Power 32, because by the end of this season, we want to be the biggest thing since pants with pockets. So thanks for the love and support.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. Then, there's no doubt the chat makes it even that much better. You guys keep the show alive and running. And you know what? It goes longer than we planned every single week, but we don't care, man. We're having so much damn fun. It's awesome. Yeah. So we're going to bring it to you every week, man. That's why we had to go to Tuesday. Like Prime said, Thursday, the game is on. What are we going to do? We're not going to talk. I want to watch the football game. Prime wants to watch the football game. Monday night, we're not going to do it. Wednesday's like, that's kind of like hump day. There's really nothing to do.
It's kind of too late because everything's been talked about. Everything's been into the ground. So
Tuesday, we can kind of mix match everything in there and have our fun. And this way, the podcast is good for the rest of the week. People can listen to our picks, our locks and so on and so forth. So, let's see how it goes, man. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Prime and the Prophet. We're going to be here for you, baby, all season long.
Absolutely. Thanks again, everybody. Shout out to the family. Shout out to my lovely wife, my lovely daughter, my son, brother-in-law, everybody. Shout out once again to the chat. You guys make it happen. So we'll see you next week.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all. Love. Peace.